Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Vamsha Rishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Beda Vibhagine Vyomavatyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Badram Karne Vishnuyama Deva Badram Pasyemakshapiryajatraha Stirai Angai Suštuvagum Sastanubihi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vriddashravaha Swastinah Pusha Vishwavedaha Swastinah Tarshyo Arishtanemihi Swastino Brihaspatirdadatu Dadatu Om Shanti 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 Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. So, in the last 7 classes, we have seen that Mundaka Upanishad is taking from the very basic level of 2 types of knowledge to be known, para and apara, and the basic definitions of both para and apara was given in the first pada of the first Mundaka itself. And thereafter the teacher proceeded to explain to the student Mahashala Shaunaka that the Aparavidya, however much is sought after, is like a weak bridge to cross over the samsara, because there are many pitfalls in the karma and what is done by action is related within the time and space and causality. So what begins has an end. Therefore, the karma phala of the karmas also will naturally have a termination or an exhaustion. So the paravidya is to be sought after, and then he started explaining the paravidya. And in the paravidya, when the terminologies were given to the student, they are all very, highly esoterical and philosophical in nature. A person who is not familiar with those words can naturally get not the right idea. In the last session, I have explained that the importance between the sound then becoming the knowledge, and the purpose of the sound becoming a knowledge is depending upon whether the listener gets the right meaning or not. For example, in the mundane world, when an object is called like a car or an elephant or an apple is mentioned, those who are familiar with those objects do not need any explanation to the word apple or a car or an elephant. But for a boy who is not understood what are the meaning of these words, they need to be either shown in physicality, what are they, or it has to be explained that in such a way that next time when he comes across with an object of that nature, he is able to relate it to between that. That is what is called pratyabhijna in the Sanskrit language. That is recalling an information and confirming that information is the right from the description what is given. But that is not possible in the case of the absolute Satchidananda or Brahman or Atman in the case, because it is not physically cognizable. So physically there is no way one can refer to that and identify, yes, this is what is being told by the master, and this is what I should understand that what he has told us. So to make the things clearer to the student, understanding that there was a limitation because his in-depth knowledge into the karma kanda, the master felt that he need to be taken to the route of upasana or dhyana. Therefore, he was given examples of the bow and arrow. And that is where in the last session we said, Pranavo dhanusharo hyatma brahmattalyakshmuchyate apramattena vedavyam sharavat mano bhavet sharavat mayo tanmayo bhavet. So what does it say? So using pranava as a tool. So here you have to understand that The pranava is the omkara, which the student is very familiar with, because all his mantras for the karma kanda you are used to chant Om in the beginning of every mantra. And he knows that Om iti ekaksharam Brahma, it is a representation of Brahma. But even though he doesn't know what is Brahma, he has some concept about what it is, that is that ultimate truth. So he is being asked to use the name or the term which he has been familiar with, the pranava, as a tool, and Atma as a shara. Atma here means the self, or here the Atma is not the Atma which we normally take the meaning as, but here is the self, that what he feels that within his body, that aham iti, without any adjectives to that. There is an I in every one of us, that I exist. That Atma is what is to be taken as the arrow, and Brahma tallakshya muchyate. Then what is for tasya lakshana tallakshya. So tallakshya means the target for that shara or that bow or for the arrow to be targeted is in the Brahman. What is Brahman? He has no knowledge about what is Brahman. So to explain that, what he says that Yasmin Dyau Prithivi Antariksham Oda Mana Saha Pranaschaiva Sarve Tamevaikam Janataha Atman Manya Vacho Vimunchataha Tasyesha Setu. So here he is being now given some more aspects by the teacher. Prithivi cha Antariksha Odam, that which is the substratum for everything in the earth and the space. That means the totality. He's covered the entire prapancha or the entire cosmos. That Dyau is the celestial world which the student is familiar with. So he includes that also, even though there is no physicality for that world, it is more of an experiential world. So he includes the experiential world of Dyau, Devaloka, Prithvi, the earth, and Antariksham, the space in which these are all suspended, or Otam is suspended or being retained as the web and woof of existence. So he is now knowing that if I have to target that substratum in which I myself should get merged, tallakshya muchyate, tanmayo bhaved. Tanmayo bhaved means you will merge in that. What does the teachers want to say that is that just as everything is supported in a same substratum from the higher world to the space to the earth, you are also part of that only. But why do you separate it out yourself due to your karmas or karma, the yajnas and everything, where you think that you can achieve things? When you are already in the substratum, you are also you are part of the substratum. Where there is something more to be achieved, because when you are inside the house, you don't have to own the house, or you know that you are inside the house. You don't have to get the house again. Or if you are in a space, you know that you are occupying the space. You don't have to get the space again. Same way, the one which is supporting the higher worlds, to the space, to this earth, everything is being in which is existing. How do you feel that you can achieve that by doing the karmas? So the student is still now getting confused. So for him to make much more meaningful meditation, the teacher further says, just as the spokes for a chariot wheel, it is going in all directions and holding on to the rim of the wheel to keep it in place, so that the unity of that wheel, which the function takes place. Same way, all the veins in the body is going in multiple ways and is experiencing the body, the whole body. Because the chance for the student to identify with the body as I am the body is very high. So he has to be taken from the physicality of the body to the awareness with which the entire body is being felt. For that purpose, the nadi or the veins are being introduced here. As every nook and corner of the body, you get the same awareness of a pinprick or any touch sensation. The entire body is filled with awareness. It is not the body is just the heart only. Even though some Upanishads refer for you to meditate on the heart, here this Upanishad says that the entire body is full with awareness. Omitevam dhyayataha. That entirety is to be treated as Om. Just as in you the Om awareness is from the head to toe, every nook and corner of the body, the Om is being experienced or awareness is there. Same way, the entire Jagat or the entire cosmos, from the higher worlds to the space to the earth, you are getting the same experience of awareness. That is in awareness. Therefore, when you are identifying that your awareness is part of that awareness of the whole entire cosmos, you cannot have the individuality or separatedness. Then when the moment you have Atmanam Swasti Yah Paraya Tapasap Parasa, that is the ignorance which is keeping you separate from the world outside. The one who knows this difference, one who merges this difference or resolves this difference between the substratum in which everything is being suspended to the awareness within what it is within oneself, he crosses over tapasat parastad. He goes beyond the limitation of the darkness of the ignorance. Then the Guru is giving that details of what it is to be like. Yas sarvajna sarvavit. Now, if you are really looking into that, mantra which is number 7 and 8 are normally taken together to explanation purpose. But I have split it for the purpose of giving the meaning of it. So I will read both the mantras 7 and 8 together and then explain in the continuity of the both together. Because they are interconnected between the words and the meanings and the connection between the words. So my 7th mantra goes like this. Yas sarvajnyaha sarvavit yasya esha mahima bhuvi divye brahmapure esha vyomni atma pratishtitaha manomayaha prana sharira neta pratishtita anne hridayam sannidhaya tad vijnanena paripashyanti dhira ananda rupam amrutam yad vivati. So now let us take each of the mantras separately and analyze it. Ya sarvavit, ya sarvajna. There are two words used here. Sarvajnaha and sarvavit. In the literal sense, sarvajna is one who knows everything. Sarvavit is sarvam vijayanati, the one who knows everything. Both the meanings are identical in the technical sense. But there is a difference which we can identify that sarvajna is the knowing of everything, all the things which are there as known. In that there is a generality of in all of them, as when we call without name and form, there is a generality of it. That is sarvajna. That is, you know, by the earth, the cosmos, the antariksham, or the self and atman and etc. all are in the sarvajna category. So you know that they are all. How did it become? Because he is the one who has become all those things. So having become all those things, ajayamano bahuda vichayate. So he has become from tat trishtva tadeva anupravishat. He having created them, became those things. So when these words are told by Upanishad in the Taittiriya Upanishad, what does it mean by that? The knowledge of being what an object is only known by that object. We all know what we are as the bodied person, but we do not know even our closest family or children or parents how it to be that person. We can never know that. But here the Creator who has become the Father, you and your child, He is the one who has become all the three, but in different three name and form. So for Him to be like a father, to be like the son, to be like the grandson, is possible because He is the one which has become the three. So therefore He is Sarvajna, because for everything He is the one which has become. Tat Trishtva Tadeva Anupravishat. Having created, He became everything. Then what is Sarvavid? Now there is the knowledge about all those independent creations from the totality point of view, or what we call it as the particularities of those creations. Now, what is my particularity? I will never know, even though I know myself. Only a person who can analyze, see and gauge me from my not being myself, but from outside, without any idea of my connection with me, he or she can only know me from the particularity that whether I am fat, thin, what age and what thing, how my behavior. He can make all the analysis. Same way, not only human beings, all the objects, all the scientific inward developments and everything he are doing is particularity of objects. Whether it is an atom or whether it is a galaxy. Doesn't matter. We are looking for the particularities of the object. But in this case, He is this atom and He is the cosmos and He is also the, what you call, every being in the creation. So He has two type of knowledge with Him. One is having become the one, and other one is one seeing the other. So He is seeing everything, but our condition of that is that we have limitation of our sense organs, so we know only certain things. But since He is the one from who all the creation has come, He has the potency to see everything as outside person who is observing that. At the same time, He has also the knowledge of being that thing. So therefore, there is a two type of knowledge. It is called Sarvajna and Sarvavid. And therefore, what it says is, Yasya Esha Mahima Bhuvi Divye Brahmapure. In the earth, in the higher world's realm of experience, and Brahmapure. Here, Brahmapure can be taken as twofold, is the Brahmaloka, where the Devas and the Indra, etc. are staying, or the world created by Brahman itself. The world of Brahman means entire creation. So both the meanings can be taken for explanation purpose. That Mahima or glory of there can be only one person who can have the glory of having the knowledge of everything from outside and from inside. So that is His glory. And He is indeed Vyomni Atma Pratishtita. Now here Vyomni is in typical meaning is in the space. Atman Pradishtam is that Atma or the self of the creation, not self as from the Brahman point of view. The self from the creation point of view, which is called the Hiranyagarbha or the creator of the entire world, because there is the Nirguna which becomes the Hiranyagarbha for the purpose of creation in as per the Vedas. So there is an Atman for Hiranyagarbha also. It is separate from the Brahman, or it can be treated as separate from Brahman. There is no separateness. Therefore, he has the feeling that it is my creation. So there is a self. So, Vyomni Pratishtita. So, here what had happened, what we have to understand is that there is that feeling of this is me as a creation, and therefore he is established in that from the point of view of creation. Then what does he say? Manomaya prana sharira neta pratishtita anne hridayam sannidaya tat vijnanena paripashyanti dira ananda rupam amrutam yad vibhati. Manomaya. Now he is coming to the individual body level. He has explained from the the cosmic point of view, or the macrocosm point of view. Now he is explaining the same thing, how it is related to the individual or in each one of us. Manomaya. It is the mind that is the only organ which is capable of doing anything for the jiva or the individual. Here the jiva doesn't mean the life, the people who have got life. Here any creation should be taken as a jiva. And manomaya, it is full of mind. Mind cannot be located anywhere in the body. You cannot say the mind is in the heart, mind is in the brain, or mind is in the thing, because the entire body is having the sense, and when we are having the senses spread all over the body, the mind and the senses are interconnected. So whenever it is happening, the mind is present along with the senses to sense it. If the mind is not along with the senses to sense it, the sensation doesn't happen, which we have explained it earlier also. Therefore, the entire body is manomaya. The mind is the body. As you can as well say that the mind is the body, physicality or the identification of the individuality. Prana Sharira Neta, the controller or the one who leads both the prana and sharira. Who is the leading? This manomaya. This mind, which is having the entire control over the body, is regulating the prana and the limbs of the sharira. So prana sharira neta. Pratishtito anne. Pratishtita means again established or located. Anne means the physical body. Annamaya sharira. The body which is getting nurtured and nourished and retained by the food which we take, that food bodied person or annamaya sharira, in that this manomaya is pratishthiत. So from having explained the cosmic point of view, now when he is explaining to the individual also should know that just as in the cosmos that the whole substratum is throughout there, here also manomaya is the substratum which is controlling the prana and the sharira, located in the physical body, annamaya sharire. Hridayam sannidaya, as if residing in the heart. Here it is the word as if has to be added to the word. As if residing in the heart, because we feel that the emotions and pain and pleasure, we immediately relate it to our chest, or we keep the heart. Even though the motor activities are controlled from the brain, the memory is stored in the main, but the reaction and the sensation of the impulses, we feel it in the heart. So therefore, hridayam sannidaya, that is the place how you should identify. Now here talking about the sharam, the example, do not forget that example of how the upasana has to be done. Here he is saying that take this physical body with the manomaya, where the sharira is the limitation, and this, when you compare with the cosmos, the whole world, the prapancha, there it becomes a part of it. So when you are saying that this becomes merged with the Brahma, though Atma Brahma Layam, Tallayam Uchyate, Tanmayo Bhavet. So then you should know that this feeling of which I am facing ourselves in my body is the same expression or experience of the Sarvajna and Sarvaved with the entire creation. The whole creator feels the same way as I feel for my body, that every nook and corner of my body is I and my own. Same way, the creator who is the supporter of the substratum, Sarvajna, Sarvaved, he also has the feeling of the same way that every nook and corner of the creation, he is full. Yada Manomaya, just as we are saying, therefore Chaitanyamaya or Brahmamaya is the case in the case of the total universe or the total prapancha. Tat Vijnanena, knowing this relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm, the individual jiva to the Jagat and Ishvara, Dhiraha, the wise one, Paripashyanti, he becomes aware of the unity between the individuality and the whole cosmos, prapancha. Then that is why where he becomes one with the creation. He do not have to know any more separated feeling, because what I am feeling in myself as full in the physical body is the part of the feeling of the creator who feels of the entire body of the world. Therefore, what I am feeling myself is his feeling. There is no separation between me and him to say that he feels separately, I am feeling separate. I am only reflecting one ray of the sunlight when it is being reflected on a pond or a mirror. But from the sun's point of view, it is shining everything. The reflection on the mirror or a glass or a water body, he is also feeling that the same ray is being reflected. So same way, the feeling which we have in our awareness in our physical body, even though we feel it that he is sitting in our heart, is the same way the creator who created the whole world also feels, and I am reflecting his feeling through my body. Ye dhiraha, the one who knows this, the wise one who knows this as the reality, for him, Ananda Rupam Amritam Yat Vibhati. This truth shines in such a person as Ananda Rupam and Amrita Rupam. He feels the excitement and identification that I am immortal because I have that experience of what I am experiencing is nothing but the experience of the creator itself. I have the separatedness of I goes away. So when the I separatedness goes away, he is becoming one with the creator. Therefore, he feels immortal, and the bliss of being the oneness with the whole world. He has nothing more to gain, nothing more to lose, or nothing separate from him. He becomes one with the entire Brahman. Therefore, he is Amrita Ananda Rupa, because there is nothing which he will lose or nothing which he need to gain. So there is no likelihood of gain or loss, and related to that, any of the mental agonies which we can go through there is nothing else to impart anything to me. I am full. That is the immortality which such a person feels it. To such a person, what he goes through is explained in the 9th mantra. Vidyade hridaya grandhi chidyande sarva samshayaha Kshiyande chasya karmani tasmin drishte paravare. This is the most important mantra which Shankaracharya is quoting almost 20-25 times in all the explanations of mantras in Brahma Sutra or Chandogya, Brihadaranya, Mandukya. Everywhere he has quoted this mantra. There is no bhashya where he has not quoted this mantra. Didyade hridaya granthi. The knot of the heart is broken, destroyed. Chidyande sarva samshaya. All sorts of doubts and, ignorance and related activities becomes scattered. There is no more there. And Shiyande chasya karmani. Such a person's, whatever karmani, here karmani is used in the plural, means all agami, sanchita and prarabdha, all the karmas. There is no baggage of the past, no baggage being generated which is to be yet to be consumed, or nor there is a baggage, anything which is now to be exhausted. So all the three forms of past, present and future karma and karma phalas, related karma phalas are she and they gets burned out. She and they means wanes. Even though it is waning, in the Bhagavad Gita says that Bhasmasat kurute. It becomes like ashes, without any, even though there may be, the example what they give it in that one is, when you burn a cloth, the cloth may get burnt, but it will still lie like a cloth with the appearance of the shape of the cloth, but it doesn't have the potency of a cloth. Same way, the one who is understood this realization of this one, for him, the outsiders may see that he is doing the karma. But from his point of view, dagda padanayam, so what they call it as like a fried grain which cannot give birth to germs and plant again, or the cloth which is burned, he has no karma left in him. Shiyande chasya karmani. Tasmin drishte paravare. When he sees that the cause and effect itself is not a reality. There is no karma, there is no phala. All those things are in when he becomes one with that truth. The Hridaya Grandhi, what Shankara says in the Hridaya Grandhi is that all the related activities related to the separatedness is called the knots with which we are working individually. Kama, Krodha, Mada, Moha, Lama, Nalsaryam, and all the type of mental feelings and emotions and ideas which is there in the mind is called the Hridaya Grandhi. Expectation is the cause for, the happiness and sorrow. When the expectation is met with the result, we feel happy. When the expectation is not met with, we feel unhappy. And we have expectation because we do not know the truth. Why do we need to expect anything when we are everything? Everything is within myself. It is nothing but my own awareness. It is. When I feel separateness, then I have to have a feeling of need and filling up. When I am everything, what is there more to be filled up? What is there to be taken by? I become less. Do I become less when anything is taken from me? No, I do not. Because it is taken from me to work. Where can you move space? Now the substratum of the space is bigger than that, and you have identified yourself with the substratum of the space, which is the Brahman. So where can anything be taken out of that, and where will you move it? That is not possible. So therefore, all the Hridaya Grandhi, the knots of the heart is broken, and therefore this happens because Sarva Samshaya Chidyante. All doubts which we had till now gets scattered because there are no more doubts. All doubts gets answered by one question. Yad viditva sarvamidam vijnadam bhavati. So it goes back to the first question which the student asked. Knowing which everything becomes known. This sarva samshaya is broken by this knowledge only. So the one who sees that there is no paravara or tasmin drishte paravare, one who sees that all those things are just by wrong notion or ignorance which is causing all those things, he becomes immortal. Anandam, Amrutam, that is the Rupa. Then comes the 10th mantra, Hiranmaye Pare Koshe, Virajam Brahma Nishkalam, Sat Shubram Jyotisham Jyotisham Jyoti Sat Yadatma Vido Viduhu. Now the teacher is giving the feeling of that. Hiranmaye Pare Koshe. What is that? Hiranmaya, Hiran is normally speaking, it is the shining of the gold. Now, in the ultimate body of effulgence, means here you have to take the effulgence as consciousness, awareness, or light of knowledge. In that, Virajam, which is spotless, Brahma, Nishkalam, untainted, because if there is something other than it, then it can be tainted by the other one. When the Brahman itself has become the whole cosmos or whole creation, there is nothing other than that. What is there to taint him? There is nothing other than the Brahman. So therefore he is Nishkalam. That's Shubram. And that is pure, because contamination can happen again when there is two. When there is only one, how can water get contaminated by water in the sea or in the cloud or in the ice or anything? Water cannot be contaminated by water. Water can be contaminated by other materials or other liquids which is other than water. By water, in water can never contaminate. Same way, space can never be contaminated by space. If you open a house, the space becomes open. It is a feeling like that, there is space limited in the four walls of house, etc. But the space is never limited by that. Therefore, nothing can contaminate it, taint it, and that is spotless. Virajam, Nishkalam, Tat Shubram. And here comes the most crucial part of it, Jyotisham Jyotihi. It is the light of all lights, or it is the awareness of all awareness. All other awareness are particular in nature, whereas Jyotisham Jyoti is that knowledge which encompasses all knowledge. Sarvavit, Sarvatnya, that knowledge you should remember it is applicable because of that is why he is called Jyotisham Jyoti. There is nothing which is outside his knowledge, and therefore it is the supreme light which lights up everything, or which is that knowledge which has the knowing of everything. Yet vidva sarvamidam vitnyadam bhavati. So knowing this only you can become the knower of everything. See, we should go back to the first question where this thing. Why does this statement come here is to tell the student that this is what you have to gain. And when you get this knowing that this is the Jyotisham Jyoti, then what happens is, Yad Atma Vido Viduhu, the one who knows Atman, using the Atman as an arrow and merging with the Brahman, Tanmayo Bhavet, when you become one with that cosmos, then Atmavid becomes Brahmavid. Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. The knower of Brahman becomes Brahman itself. Atmavit Atmaiva Bhavati. Though Atma Brahman, there is no difference. So therefore it is Jyotisham Jyoti. It is the light of all lights. Now the teacher is still not, he is going into his ecstasy mode. And here you will find the repetition of the mantra from the Kathopanishad again here itself. Na tatra suryo bhadina chandra tarakam nema vidyuto bhanti kutoyam agni tameva vandam anuvadi sarvam tasya vasa sarvam idam vivadi. So that Jyotisham Jyoti, how does it look like? Na tatra suryo bhadi, not the sun can shine that anywhere near that. The sunlight, the light of, even in the core of the sun, whatever light is there, that is not a light in front of that. Na chandra tarakam, neither the entire, objects of light in the space, like the moon and the stars, etc. Nema vidna ima vidyuto. Not this lightning which you see in the, along with the thunder and lightning. Even that cannot shine it. What to talk about Kudoyam Agni? This pittance of fire which we see on the surface of the earth, he is referring to the Agni which is there in the Gurukula. He is referring to that and saying that, where is this Agni compared to the sun, compared to the Chandra and the stars and even the lightning? And that all of them are nothing in front of Tat Jodisham Jodi. Why? Tameva bandham anubadi sarvam. Only when that Brahman shines upon all those creations, the creations can have a meaning and existence. If he withdraws the existence, or if he decides not to have the creation of the multitude of the Chandra, Tara, Surya, Vidyuti, etc., nothing will be there. Tameva bandham anubadi sarvam. Because it is shining upon, or it is giving the awareness in the form of awareness in everything. Everything seems to be existing. Tasya bhasa sarvam idam vivadi. And what we see as existence and awareness in every object, every atom, every minuscule of things, to the largest, anoraniyan mahato mahiyan, tasya bhasa. It is that awareness of Brahman which we are seeing, that there is nothing other than, because there is no, it is nishkalam, it is, shubram. And other than that, there is nothing. So what we are seeing as awareness and existence of the smallest of the smallest and the largest of the largest is the awareness of that only, because that is the one which has become the many. So it is that same thing which we are seeing. But because we are ignorant, we think that we are separate, the world is separate, the objects are separate, the earth is separate, the light is separate, the animal is separate, the tree is separate, the earth is separate, the water is separate. All those things has only one thing which is in them. The substratum of that is their existence and awareness. If there is no existence and awareness of existence which is exhibited by anything in this world, that object doesn't exist, including you, me, and anything in this world. Tasya bhasa sarvamitam vivati. And toward the concluding that mantra, the Rishi says, Brahma eva idam amrutam purastad brahma paschad brahma dakshinataha cha uttarena adascha urdam cha samruddham brahma eva idam vishwamidam varishtam. To conclude that, Brahma eva idam sarvam. All those things which we are having is Brahma only. And that is Amrutam, immortal. That existence and awareness of everything is the immortality in it. The name and form may come and go, but the existence and awareness do not go. Purastad Brahma, in the backside it Brahma. In the front it is Brahma, Purastad. Paschad Brahma, in the backside Brahma. Dakshina, right. Uttara, left. Adascha, in the bottom. Urdham, top. In all your side, front, back, right, left, top, bottom, wherever you say that, Prasrudam Brahma. Prasrudam is pervades. Sri Gadau is the dhatu. Prasrudam means Prakrishrenasdam. It is permeating through every pores and molecules and atoms. From the top, front, back, up, right, left, upper, niche, all those places. Brahma eva idam. Brahman alone is what is there. Therefore, Vishwamidam. There the entire world is also that only. And Varishtam, that is the supreme most, where there is nothing can be more superior than that. And the Rishi becomes silent after this one, because he changes the topic after this in the next Mundaka beginning. Yes, This is a time he gives to the student to contemplate upon all he has said. Therefore, this part, second Mundaka, second pada, all the mantras are virtually takeaway of this Upanishad, and a person who meditates upon these mantras and gets the depth of it and imbibes the meaning as a convicted knowledge in himself by Shravana Manana Nididhyasana, he becomes Brahmavit, he becomes Sarvajna, he becomes Sarvavit, Sar Brahmaiva Bhavati. And therefore, Vidyade Hridaya Grandhi, Chidyande Sarva Samshaya, Shriyande Chastya Karmani, Tasmin Drishte Paravare. Therefore, there is nothing left for him, such a person, to do in this world. He becomes Atmarati, Atmatrupta, Atma Vida. He'll revel in himself. He doesn't need anything other than himself. For him, there is nothing other than himself. Therefore, he doesn't need anything other than. He plays with himself because he sees himself with everything. He is the one and all. Therefore, he has nowhere to go and nowhere to come from. He is everywhere. He is here and he is everywhere at the same time. That is the feeling of a person who has realized it. Om Shanti. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Dhanyavada. Thank you all.